as you can see, we're doing things a little bit differently because of the weather. I have a Georgia weather expert here, awesome Bill from Dawsonville. Bill Elliott from just up the road was racing with us here yesterday. Bill, you're actually saying that the track's going to dry pretty quick. What's your weather advice?
Well, I don't really have any because I didn't think it was supposed to rain this morning anyway, but it's going to be a different. I'd probably gamble and put on slicks and try it, but I don't do much in the rain, so I'd probably be off the track somewhere anyway, so it wouldn't matter.
But as you know, here in the South, if you don't like the weather, just wait 5 minutes, because now, just since we've been talking, the sun's come out.
Yeah, but it still drizzling rain just a little bit. But I think it'll dry out quick. The safe bet's go on rain tires. I mean, that's going to be safe for the guys. I hear a lot of these guys hadn't got much experience or any experience in the rain, so it's going to be interesting one way or the other.
Nice. I love it. And if anybody has racing experience, especially in the state of Georgia, Bill Elliott, how cool is that? What an honor to have you here. We're going to talk to Austin Green, who's got some NASCAR blood in him with his father. Today you turned 22, not the way you wanted to spend your 22nd birthday here in the rain, right?
Yeah, it's first time racing in the rain, so turn one will be pretty interesting to say the least, and I think there's going to be a lot of strategy going on depending on the weather, so I think it should clear up soon, but who knows?
Yeah. So from what I've heard from the three-dimensional services group team, everybody's going out in rains, is that right?
All of us are doing rains, yes, but I think a lot of everybody behind us are going on slicks. So I think we're going to make a last-minute decision here.
Well, Tony, if you don't mind, our cameraman, whose birthday was yesterday, we're going to follow out here to Rafa so you can see, like, I'm in my weatherproof boots. There is standing water on here, but Rafa is out here talking to his team as the cars are going to come down in the grid. Let's try to take a look because he's on pole. Rafa Matos is our Motul Pole Award winner. And he's talking to his team. But this is going to be the most important part, coming down into turn one. Turn one has been what we call polished. The racing line is polished. So I'm thinking that he's going to want to maybe go offline. But let's talk to him. He's talking to his team right now. But Rafa, do you mind if I interrupt, because I know that you guys right now are going to be on the reins, but now looking at this and hearing what Bill Elliott said, what's your strategy?
We don't know yet. We have about 3 minutes to decide what we're going to do, but it's going to be a tough one to make a call. The track seems to be drying pretty quickly, but it's still wet. It doesn't look like it's going to rain in the next 40 minutes, so we'll see what's going to happen here.
And does it seem like Road Atlanta, like some of the other tracks we run, like Mid-Ohio, does it have a rain line, or do you just kind of stay off of the racing line just a little bit?
I'm not sure about this track. I never race here in the rain, so I'm going to learn as we go here. But I suspect that you have to take the rain line because it's quite a bit of rubber on the race line, so you have to avoid that.
Here we go then, round 3 here of the championship, and it is the Bennett Bridge Hall 100 Classic. And in comes the pace car, but so too does one of the three-dimensional services cars. We're away, and Rafa Matos gets the jump and has the start. Everybody jostling for position. Hearn looking up the inside and does get through. Nicely done. Nathan Hearn gets through on Evan Slater into second place. The wipers on. Good start, though, from the Australian as the Brazilian leads it.
Yeah, they are just hunting for these dry spots right now on the slick tires, trying to build temperature, trying to maintain control of the car. There's definitely some wet spots still on this track as we see them going through the Bennett Bridge Hall S's, just trying to keep the car under them.
Now, this is going to be an interesting race for Hearn because he's been so sensational. What have you made of his driving style? It's so aggressive, and I think Matos is going to be wary of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Nathan is probably one of the most aggressive drivers that I've seen here in this race, and here he's really pressuring Rafa. Maybe try to dive on.
Here comes Marilyn Cruz. Can't quite do it at 6. Into 7.
And looks like Hearn goes inside of Rafa here.
Oh, he's got him.
7. He's got him.
Nathan Hearn of Australia leads his first race.
Yep. And Rafa's gonna tuck in behind here. Yeah, it's pretty wet going down to the brake zone for 10A. So we'll have to see here if he tries something.
Well, I know that Rafa Matos will not want to stay there, and he doesn't. That's nice work by the Brazilian as he regains the lead, and Nathan Hearn knows his place at this point and knows that Rafa is willing to play and play fair, but it's going to be a ding-dong battle between these two as Nathan Hearn gets the drive and comes back at him under the bridge. What a race, and this is only lap 1, folks. Nathan Hearn leads here at Road Atlanta.
Evan Slater staying in really close touch with these front two, doing a great job out there.
Slater now all over Matos too, and what Matos doesn't want to do is lose Slater as well, because then he's going to really have to think hard about how he's going to play this. A 17-year-old and a 20-year-old in front of him. Slater, on my right, has never ridden in the wet in one of these cars.
No, he actually did really well. He finished on the podium at Lime Rock last year.
Of course, excuse me.
As we see, the Bennett Bridgehall S's are still pretty wet, so they're tiptoeing through here.
And yeah, I mean, do you literally feather the throttle a little more than you would normally, but just in case you don't get that wheel spin?
Absolutely. Yeah, you slow down your inputs a lot.
Look at this. Oh, again, Rafa Matos had a look. This is great. Now, Merrill also in a battle.
Yeah, inside.
Merrill and Zilic. Zilic on the outside at 6. Won't have the line. Merrill will close the door and go through, and he does. Cruz just behind them. So all of our contenders are right where they need to be. We've got pockets of racing as Nathan Hearn is striding out now in front. This is really impressive by the Australian. For some reason, he's getting great drive on that Cube 3 car. And Nathan Hearn of Australia showing the American field how to run. Really impressive indeed. This is only his 3rd race in America. Excuse me, 4th, because of course he did the last race at COTA last year, got a 4th place there. And look at him go, he's striding out at the front. Is this surprising you, Tyler?
Not really, no. I mean, his driving style, we talked about it being really aggressive, and honestly, that's gonna pay dividends in these kind of conditions. You know, he's going to be able to generate a lot of heat in those tires and those brakes, and I'm not surprised to see his performance up here early just with his driving style.
Well, through goes another overtake on a 3-dimensional surfaces, and it's Merrill this time going through on Austin Green. Happy birthday, son. And also Zilic going through as well.
Yeah, I think Austin
so
Green
leaving Austin Green.
I think Austin Green might have come down and gotten tires or something here. He kind of ended up getting passed by the leader, so he fell back from something.
Now he's on the wets, right?
Well, he started out on the wets, but I'm not sure, if he's just that much off the pace on the wets or if he has come down for dries. We'll have to see here what he's got.
Now, what's happened to Hearn? Hearn's disappeared. He's gone right backwards. He's lost out on the lead. He's got a lot of dirt. He's made a mistake.
He's got damage on the front. He's made contact with something, spun, potentially hit the tire wall.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's entertaining, that's for sure. On board again with the Australian. Now, he's had some sort of problem. We were looking at that battle quite rightly between Austin Green and Thomas Merrill, but now Rafa Matos is back in the lead, Slater back in 2nd, and Merrill up to 3rd. Hearn is now 4th, and he's got Zilic all over him. Meanwhile, Cruz is also battling, and Inciata, his mate from karting, is right there with him behind him, and Austin Green slotting down and losing paces as they come through 10B. But what a start to this race. Very exciting indeed.
Yeah, Nathan Hearn's really struggling with the damage he has on his nose. I mean, a little bit of contact with anything is going to really hurt the aero and hurt your ability to get through these corners. So he's struggling a little bit right now.
You know, I mentioned Adam Andretti and Keith Prochuk, and they are coming forward. Adam Andretti already up to 13th position. He loves these kind of conditions. Prochuk in 17th at the moment.
Yeah, Zilic making a move here on Nathan Hearn in turn 3.
Oh, nice move. That was really impressive by Connor Zilic. You know, it's interesting. I talked to Zilic yesterday, and you forget, he may be a 16-year-old, but he's been racing Brent Cruz for 8 years. That's longer than Merrill and Matos.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, he's a driver to watch out in this race. I think he's going to have a lot of good pace, and here we're going to get a replay.
Hearn. Ah, there you go.
No.
He is lucky as.
Yeah, we talked about that a minute ago, about those Bennett Bridgehall S's being really treacherous. They're still really, really wet, and he was on the edge there. So he lost it, unfortunately for him, made some contact, and honestly, the grass is so wet and muddy that I think that ripped the splitter back a little bit on him. So he's going to really struggle here, I think, throughout the rest of this race.
Here's another look at another incident for Hearn coming into 10 here.
I think he's following Zilic here. He's trying to keep pace, but again, I think he's struggling a little bit with the handling of that car now.
I'll tell you what, luck of the Irish, luck of the Aussies, that was a lucky moment because he could have easily collected a wall or a banner or anything else and spun around. He somehow held it sideways. Now Merrill under pressure from Zilic. Hearn has caught him. Cruz is there. Nunziata's there. It's getting tight, and it's going to get tighter. Everybody jostling for position here at Road Atlanta, but it's Matos, Slater, Merrill, Zilic, Hearn, Cruz, and Nunziata 7. Boris Said Jr. up to 8th position, and the fastest lap going to Evan Slater, a 1:31.2. Got to be pleased with that, Coach.
Absolutely. He's doing a great job sticking with Matos, and he's just got to be consistent here. They're pulling away, it seems like, from the rest of the field, the two of them. So, yeah, he's just got to stay on top of it, and, like I told him, he's got to be there at the end of this thing.
Yeah, he's a great kid. I talked to him yesterday, just 17 years of age, and I said, what are you trying to do with all this? And he goes, you know what? I just want to be a professional. I want to race anything I can. I'd love to get to Indy. I'd love to get to NASCAR, but I don't care. I want to be a professional racing driver. And I remember a certain Tyler Caceres saying the same thing to me.
He's really hungry for it, for sure. I mean, he's always willing to figure out how to improve, and really impressive just with his natural ability and how fast he is. So great to see him making the most of that here early in this race.
Another position made by Dylan Archer and Andretti. They're 12th and 13th now. They're behind Ostowski. I'm keeping an eye on them. Misha Goikerberg, also good in the wet. He's in 9th. Boris Said Jr., great start from him as we're back with Hearn now. And this sensational Australian, I love being on board with him and seeing what he gets up to. And as you say, one of the most aggressive drivers we've seen in a long time. I think he's just enjoying the fact that he's got a car underneath him that is, to be fair to the Australian Championship, just a little step further, different tyres, a different generation of car, and he just seems to have jumped into this, really enjoyed it.
Yeah, the splitter on Nathan Hearn's car right there is dragging the ground, so he is really struggling with the aero on that car at the moment.
But he just can't come in, can he? He can't just come
No,
in.
you can't. You've got to make the most of it. It doesn't look like it's anything that's going to be a race ender for him, but he's going to struggle with the pace. Looks like we have a battle brewing, too, here between Connor Zilic and Thomas Merrill.
He's actually doing a good job, to be fair.
Yeah, it looks like Zilic is putting a lot of pressure here on Merrill, so wouldn't doubt he tries to move here into 10 on this lap.
The 18 car just coming in. And we've had a crash out on track while we've been watching the action. No surprise, there's plenty of action all over. Let's take a look at this, Tyler. Coming into 10A. Obviously, it's a heavy braking point. And, there you go. And around they go. Well, that's a classic sort of Road Atlanta mistake.
Absolutely.
95 is Luke Rumberg.
Yeah, and Kit ahead of him, which I'm sure he's hoping for at the moment.
So out goes the 87. Peterson.
Yeah, it looks like they're doing a tire change here for Boris Said Jr.
So we should be going to green this time by, and that means Rafa Matos. I'm sure Rafa is probably delighted that he's got rid of at least Hearn for now, because that was livening up to be a really tough battle for Rafa Matos early in the race. What I know about Rafa is he likes to get to the last 10 laps with a good set of tyres and knows he can go for, if you like, that last sprint. He likes to save his breath in the terms of tyres, and he did not want to get into a Barney with Nathan Hearn for 80 miles, did he?
Absolutely not. No, we identified the veterans, Matos and Merrill. We're going to get pressure from Slater, Hearn, and Cruz early in this race, and so yeah, that takes kind of one of those dominoes out of play here for Matos. But he does have Evan Slater, who's got a lot of pace right on his bumpers. So we'll see if Evan can do something with Rafa here on this restart.
Yeah, also Merrill, I'm sure, will be thinking exactly the same thing behind Evan Slater, just 17 years of age. Merrill in third, our champion, got so much experience. The man from Salinas, California. We're about to restart, and away we go, and a good restart by Merrill. He looks to the inside to try and get past Slater, and also behind him, Hearn gets a good start. Cruz is there. Nunziata sandwiched there with the number 10 of Misha Goikerberg. Goikerberg getting through on board with Hearn. He loses out to the 51 of Darren Mark.
Yeah, I think
the 41.
Hearn has a problem here. I believe
Hearn's struggling.
I believe he may have a tire going down or something as a result of that damage.
What a shame.
Yeah, he's going to have to limp it around and try to keep the car in one piece here. Hopefully get that tire changed if that's what the issue is.
Well, we've got some great fights, and Merrill right there where he needs to be, but Slater doing a good job on that restart. Very good job indeed. He's right there as they dive into 6 for the restart. But Zilic is the man on the move now. Connor Zilic up to 4th place. He's got ahead of Brent Cruz. Misha Goldberg on the way up. And like I said, I'm watching out. Andretti now up to 11th. Lostowski 10. Keeping an eye on that. We've gone all the way back to Mott, but watch out for Lostowski and Andretti joining the battle. And a good start also from Dylan Archer. Hats off to him, the young Texan, up to 12th now. He needs a good result out of this one.
Absolutely. I mean, these are really tricky conditions. He's doing a great job. And we've got a pass here for 2nd place. We've got Thomas Merrill, who just took the place away here from Evan Slater.
Yeah, so good move by Merrill. Nice, clean move as well. And that's experience showing. And now Matos knows what he's got behind him. He's got a hard charging. Come on, Slater, let's see if he can do him. He gets out and to the inside again, but he can't quite. Or can he? No, he's still looking. Gets some drive. Up the hill they go. Merrill will close the door, and he does so. And now we've got a real battle because Cruz has joined it and Misha Goldberg is about to join it. The Canadian on board with Lostowski. Like I said, Lostowski, Archer. Archer's got ahead of Procha, and so we've got some real movement as there's a group behind Darren Mott, which includes Andretti, Lostowski, and Archer, all coming forward. And this is starting to get very interesting indeed. 10 of the 40 laps gone. Oh, Hearn is in, and that looks pretty terminal to me, Tyler.
Yeah, it looks like it was something probably to do with the radiator. Might have punched a hole in that off course. Not quite sure here what exactly the problem is. Also could have just packed the grill with grass, but it looks like they're not rushing around too much, so it looks like that probably is terminal for him today.
You know, this is an incredible start to the race. All the guys are literally less than a second between each other in the top 10 in terms of their pace. And look at this, here we go for the lead. Thomas Merrill looking at 10. Can he go around the outside? He can, you know. He's got the line to 10B. And Thomas Merrill, our champion, takes the lead. But for how long? Because back comes Rafa. Under the bridge they come, down towards our commentary position. And the final turn here, turn 12 at Road Atlanta. What a race this is turning out to be. And it's the champion who leads, Thomas Merrill, at the moment.
Zilic also attempted to pass on Slater there into Big Machine Vodka's Flight Coolers turn 10. It's really heating up here in the top 5 for sure.
Well, this is the Merrill we expected to see. Merrill bouncing over the curves. Now, let's take a look. Tyler, you tell me what you see.
Yeah, I mean, this is just Merrill being great on the brakes, sending it in there really, really deep. You know, he's not afraid of the outside there because it puts him in a really great spot for 10B in the run under the bridge. So really smart move there on Merrill's part. And
also it's rare because you usually see the inside move to do the overtake at 10A.
Yeah.
But he chose to use the outside and then really had to put on the anchors. Misha Goldberg having a good race, and somebody said before the race, watch out for him. He's been doing single-seaters as well this weekend, so he's had a lot of time out on track. But I think he loves these sort of varying conditions, and he, of course, has been around for quite a few years here in our Trans Am Championship as we go back on board with Lostowski currently in 10th. We've got Andretti in front of him. And these two now in the top 10. Archer 11th. McAvern hasn't shown just yet. And there is the deflated, if you like, Nathan Hearn. Fastest lap, though, Thomas Merrill at 1:27.2. And Hearn out of the car. And it's game over for the Australian. But I think it's going to be one of those years, a learning year. And there's going to be times where he's going to be spectacular. Well, I think he's always going to be spectacular. There's going to be times where he pulls it off and times where he makes the odd mistake. But the Q3 guys are with him for the endurance, and it's going to be fun. There's our first look at Andretti.
Yeah, Andretti, you know, really has turned up the wick here in this race and made a lot of great progress. So good to see him kind of moving up. Dylan Archer there.
And McAvern. Dylan McAvern, of course, I mean, he's got bags of time around this circuit and wins to his name. So we're expecting Dylan McAvern. He's coming back from illness, so he may not be as sharp as he wants to be. Well, it's a special weekend for him, so I'll talk about that as he comes through. He's in 12th at the moment, so we're on board with Dylan Archer just ahead of him.
Yeah, as we mentioned McAvern too, I mean, he started this race from the back. They did a tire change there on the grid and had to start from the back, so he's made a ton of progress through this field. And definitely somebody to look out for here as this race winds down.
Tom Sheehan in the top 20. Caleb Bacon going forward. So too Michelle Abate, much better by her. She's in 18th position. Well, if you're talking about Nathan Hearn, let's head down to the pit lane. Ben Sissel has got to him.
Well, thanks, gentlemen. I'm with Nathan Hearn, a heartbroken Nathan Hearn, who had the lead. Nathan, what happened?
I just made a mistake. Yeah, I don't know. I've raced for a long time. I don't do that stuff. So the fact that it happens, I'm beyond gutted. I don't even know what to say to the team. We've had a rough year so far. So I mean, both qualified to start off the back, and now we actually had a chance at the front, and I blew it for the whole team. And I don't even know what to say. I'm just purely rotten with myself right now. But it's done. I can't do anything about it. So I got 7 weeks of thinking about this, and it'll keep me up late at night. I'm sure about that, but we'll move on.
Well, that's Nathan Hearn, heartbroken, from Cube 3 Architecture, Interiors and Planning, and Joe Stevens Miller Racing. Back to you, gentlemen.
Well, he certainly wears his heart on his sleeve. I love to hear a racing driver both admit that he was at fault, and also, you forget, he has had 2 sensational runs from the back in the first 2 rounds where the luck was not on his side, but he made good of it, and this time the blame is on him and he took it.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, that was all his fault there.
Now, check this out, Tyler.
Yeah, we've got a pass here. Brent Cruz on Connor Zilich.
Now, Cruz is in the red and white, and Zilich just makes a mistake there under braking, doesn't he? And in fact, he was kind of blocked, and so he had to take avoiding action. That allowed Cruz to come through. Good stuff there by my man Lake.
Yeah,
but Rafa Matos now down in 3rd place. Oh no, he's going past Ty Young. I thought for a moment there he's dropped back. Ty Young had just been in the pit, so Rafa now in traffic and making his way through. So got to be careful, and this is a tough time for any racing driver when you're starting to see guys that aren't maybe as fast as you. And now look at Brent Cruz. He's got the bit between his teeth. The 2 youngsters, Brent Cruz, winner last time out, and Evan Slater going at it.
Yeah, and Thomas Merrill's pulling away, it seems like, from Rafa, so they're all settling in, but this battle here between Evan Slater, Brent Cruz, and Connor Zilich is really heating up here. And looks like Brent's got a pretty good car, a bunch of mud there on his front end, so he's had somebody off in front of him, but he's making progress through the field here and you know, looking to get ahead of Evan Slater.
I talked to Brent yesterday. Of course, he won the last race, just 14 years of age. And he's a man of few words, but then not many 14-year-olds have lots of words to say. But he does his racing, let the talking do. And Rafa Matos still making his way through traffic. But yeah, I asked Brent if he was doing any other racing, and he said, yeah, he's doing a little bit of late model, and he's going to do some ARCA at the end of the season, but right at the end, he's going to do some dirt racing. So, you know, he's keeping his eye in, and that's important. And you made a good point to me. A lot of these guys are racing a lot. Slater is just doing this championship.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the most impressive things I think about Slater.
Here we go.
We got a pass here. Connor Zilich trying to take back that position from Brent Cruz.
Well, he's done it nicely. That was good work. After the mistake he made at exactly that point in the last lap, that's a good recovery from Zilich.
Yeah, he's showing some pretty good pace here, so I think just he's got to recover from that little bit of a mistake he made, and looks like he's going to continue to move forward.
This is a great race, and it's so much to go from it. We're only 15 laps into 40, so there's a long way to go. How do the tyres work when it's wet dry like this? Do you get more grip and more length or longevity with them, or less?
Well, I would kind of look at this race like it's a full dry race. And it has been really from the beginning. So, you know, I think tires and brakes people are still going to be trying to conserve. But honestly, with the competition the way it is in the series right now, people are going 100% from start to finish. So throwing the cars around a lot. And, you know, these Pirelli tires are taking it for sure. A bit surprised a little bit at our last round how Nathan Hearn was throwing the car around and still had some left at the end. So, no, I think these guys are flat out at the moment, just trying to get everything they can.
We've got a glimpse there. There's Lostowski. There's McAvern making up a place. And we're on board now with Lostowski as he dives into 7. Got a glimpse there also of Annunziata. Annunziata currently in 7th. Remember, he was pole last time out at NOLA 2 weeks ago and got stalled on the line. Bitter disappointment, but drove like a maniac all the way through the field to a really good result in the top 5. And he'll want to do the same again. But he's struggling a little bit. He was up the sharp end a moment ago, but now down to 7th behind Goikberg, who's got past him. Brent Cruz 5th, and we're on board with Lostowski. Lostowski currently in 10th place. I love looking at the bottom left to see how comfortable they look while driving the car. And you can always tell whether the car's set up right by the amount of movement on the wheel.
Oh, we got Connor Zilic who's jumped ahead of Evan Slater.
All over Slater. Slater's not a... Slater and Zilic going at it. Zilic, of course, came your way. He's racing in Miatas. And he was vice champion last year, and he's going back at it this year. But actually, and you told me this a long time ago, Miatas doesn't sound like the obvious place to learn your Trans Am chops, but it has been really useful for both you and for him, Connor Zilic.
Yeah, there's a lot of momentum car drivers out here. We've got, Connor Zilic, I believe Rob Clifton in the B2 car, comes from Spec Racers.
Yeah, no question. And we're seeing more and more of the guys that are coming from karting and Miatas. So it really is an open game. And even though you've got 550 brake horsepower, these guys take to it like a duck to water.
Yeah, it's honestly the momentum car aspect that you learn in terms of carrying speed and how to carry speed into a corner that pays dividends here. And it takes a little bit of adaptation, but it's hard to teach somebody that who just starts out in a high horsepower car. So we've got Matos taking over some lap traffic here, but yeah, pairing momentum car techniques with a little bit of the high horsepower point and shoot, is something that pays dividends in this series in these big machine VODKA Spike Cleaners TA2 cars.
We're getting into an intriguing part of the race because you've got to be careful here. Zilic, as you can see, biding his time or having to bide his time through the S's. A sudden move or a sudden overtake when the man in front of you, who may not be as quick as you, this is Roberto Sabato, is going past. Rafa already has done that. As you can see now, Slater's stuck behind him, and they've got to be careful. They're in their own race. They have every right to do what they're doing. He's down in 28th at the moment, and he's just on a different pace and in a different race than these two. And so they've got to bide their time, because it can be trouble if you don't get it right and they don't see you. You can see Rafa, Merrill, everybody just tiptoeing around there. The conditions are tough. Let's face it, you can see now from the drone that we have got a dry line, and pretty much, as you said, this is going to be a pretty dry race for the rest of the 100 miles. Through go the leaders. Brent Cruz, the last to go through on Sabato at turn 10A.
Yeah, and so being able to process this lap traffic efficiently is like, a free lap time for these guys. So, we saw
no question about it. Zilic, the man to watch at the moment, 1:25.5. He's just done the fastest lap of the race. He's in third, Matos second. Merrill, I stopped you. What are your thoughts?
No, I'm just saying, yeah, the being able to process the lap cars here is really important, and can help you stretch the gap. We saw Evan Slater get held up there a bit by Sabato in turn 7, kind of cost him the entire straightaway. So, processing the lap traffic is really key at this point in the race.
So Merrill, Matos, and Zilic. That's your top three. Slater, we've been watching a lot. He's down in 4th now. He's got Cruz, Goikberg coming quick, Annunziato 7th, Mont up to 8th, Andretti now in the top 10, and Lostowski rounding out that top 10 with McAvern coming fast too. Archer, Borchetta, Prochuk and Bacon. I expected Borchetta and Prochuk to also be in the run, and they are. We're back on board with Austin Green, who's back out there making his way through.
Actually, on that last lap, I just saw a shot here of Thomas Merrill. Looked like he was right in front of Rafa. And here we go. This is Austin Green. But Rafa was right in front Merrill was right in front of Rafa. And so I don't know if he had a little slip up or some of that lap traffic got in the way.
Yeah, maybe. So we'll keep an eye on that. But this is a dynamic race. Really good stuff. We've had a start to the day which was pouring down with rain from about 8 a.m. this morning, torrential rain. And there has been some heavy tornadoes and rain overnight yesterday as well. So we kind of expected it, and we knew it was coming.
We've got Austin Green here going by Keith Prochek.
Yep.
I'm not actually sure if this is for position at the moment.
Yeah, I'm trying to work out that. Austin Green, I think, is further down. I think he's making up places. Yeah, he's down in 28th, so he's just trying to get back on board and get back into the race a little bit up and had that pit stop.
Yeah, he's trying to make the most of this opportunity with the track time, just to gather data, learn. Looks like he probably, I believe, is a lap down.
Austin Green joining this three-dimensional services team this year. Of course, his father, a famous Xfinity champion back in his day, so he's following and continuing the family tradition. But this is first real major team to be part of. Three-dimensional services group, without doubt, one of our crack teams in the series.
As we go on board here, we're seeing him try to get past. I believe that's Scott Borchetta.
So a good battle right at the back there. This is for 28th position. Austin Green having come back onto the track.
Connor Zilic has tracked down Rafa Matos.
Yeah, he has, hasn't he?
Absolutely. So he looks like he's got a really spicy car there. He's and Matos and Merrill are together. So these top three have really closed it up. We've got Slater there, a little bit of a gap back to him, and then Brent Cruz. So yeah, things are going to start heating up here in the top three. I believe Merrill's might have his hands full here in a few laps.
Yeah, the Silver Herd Racing, Connor Zilic, the man to watch. He's just done the fastest lap of the race last time out, 125.2. So
here we go.
Definitely one to watch. Here we go. Whoa, side by side into 6.
Outside move in three-dimensional services group, turn 6.
Back comes Matos. Lovely stuff. Zilic will get the drive, maybe, and maybe try and get a slipstream into 10. You can see it for yourself as they come under the Motul Bridge. Zilic behind the all-yellow car of Matos. Merrill the leader just ahead, but here comes Zilic, but he's being blocked quite nicely by Matos, who wants the inside line. He's giving Zilic the outside line. Can Zilic do what he did before? Matos said, no, I'm wise to that this time. Robbins Racing, right? That was good stuff.
Absolutely. That was a great move there on Matos' part to kind of keep Zilic at bay. He got in there, made a little bit of a late turn in, parked him a little bit, got the edge up into turn 10B and got a good run under the bridge. So maintained the position there.
But what Rafa doesn't want to do is get embroiled in a to and fro with Zilic, because that's only going to play into Merrill's hands as he increases that lead. The gap at the moment, 1.5 seconds. And what Matos wants to do is try and break the back of this little battle right now, doesn't he?
Yeah, we saw Merrill pull away a little bit there just with that little side-by-side between Matos and Zilic. So, yeah, he wants to settle in. I'm sure Zilic wants to get by him as quickly as possible and make the most of what he can and try to get by Merrill as well for the lead.
This is the Big Machine Vodka Spike Coolers TA2 Series, the Bennett Bridge Hall 100 Classic, and so far it's nicely burbling up to be a classic too. Road Atlanta always throws up great racing. We go back on board with the ASIO Data Barry Bowes car. Barry Bowes currently down in 17th position. He's chasing Tad Moffitt, the grandson, of course, of Richard Petty. I'm sure he doesn't need to be reminded of that every weekend, but he is carrying the famous 43, so we can't avoid it. It's great to have people like Bill Elliott and Richard Petty's name being involved still in Trans Am. We saw Bill Elliott in action yesterday in Estoril, and of course we heard from him this morning. We go back through the S's and back up the hill with Barry. Been a good couple of years for Barry Bowes. They started off in pretty meager situations, a bit like yourself, a small team, but he's got better and better and put more time into it and got better equipment as the years have gone on, and he really is starting to show and get better results in good point scoring positions.
Yeah, it appears actually we did have a change of position that Brent Cruz got by Evan Slater. I would assume that probably happened down in Big Machine Vodka Spike Coolers turn 10, but we didn't see it. I just saw them here come by start finish.
So Brent Cruz up to 4th place behind Rafa Matos now in 3rd. Connor Zilic still the man on the move. Another car in the pit lane, but not in contention.
Looks like Bruce Raymond coming down pit lane.
Back on board with Dylan Archer now. Archer down in 15th place. He's got Caleb Bacon. Bacon's done a really good job of coming through the field. He's up to 14th position. So this is the best run so far in his career at Trans Am Racing. Caleb Bacon, one of the newcomers, up to 14th position. It's going to be good points if he stays there.
Yeah, absolutely. That's impressive because I believe I saw him during qualifying pull in on the outlap. So didn't get a time. I believe he had to start from the back. Good progress by him to get up where he is. Yeah.
Rafa Matos got his first win in 2018 here, and the rest is history, as they say. Two-time champion, should really be 3, but it all went horribly wrong at Kota. So this year is about making amends for what happened at the end of last year and bringing another title to this great champion.
Yeah, we didn't see it, but Connor Zilic did manage to get by Matos somewhere on that lap. So the running order now would be Merrill, Zilic, Matos, followed by Cruz and Slater.
Yep. In comes the 54. That's Bruce Raymond in the pits. And there's Abate. Now she's going slow and into the pits, so problems for Michelle Abate. Oh, no, she's not going into the pits.
It looks like a right front tire
it's a rear. Yeah, I think that's a puncture on the right rear, don't you think?
It looked like actually there might have been an issue with the right front suspension. Looked like it was collapsed. So don't know if that was a result of contact or if that was just a failure, but she's definitely not sure that she's going to be able to make it back to pit road. We'll have to see her.
Back on board with Scott Borchetta in the office in the Big Machine Vodka Spike Coolers car. He's a real fan, not only of racing, but of the sport itself. He is an absolute historian, has a fantastic collection of cars, race cars and race suits, helmets, you name it. Big Unser fan, loves following the Unzers over the years. And it's going to be interesting how Scott Borchetta, who will be out again plenty of times today because he does a lot of SPRA racing as well. That's how he learned how to race in Trans Am, was he was doing SPRA and getting coaching, and then finally came forward. So it's a good story. Scott Borchetta, obviously from the music industry, and has got a great bunch of accolades in that industry, but now turning to racing and making a really good job of it too. He's got a lot of respect within the industry now as he gets better and better. Yeah,
Scott's got great pace. I mean, he's always been impressive. Last year, definitely on the podium and at Nashville. So looks like here we've got Connor Zilic. He's
all over him, isn't he?
Yeah, he got by Matos and has set sail. He's tracked down Merrill and is starting to put a lot of pressure on him. So we'll look for him to start challenging here for the lead here in probably the next lap.
You can see that Merrill's got the gap on him down the long straight from the drone, but he's not close enough to make an attempt. He's going to have to work harder if he wants to make the attempt here at 10A. He might rethink this and say, okay, well, I'm faster than him in the middle section, but not here. Back up the hill, but he is close. We've now got a full course yellow. Oh, no!
Big
Just
wreck
as we were talking so brightly about Scott Borchetta, that's how quickly it could go wrong in motor racing. An awful, awful crash for Scott Borchetta.
Yeah, before they go green.
Right, let me just run you through the order. We've got a little bit of time. Thomas Merrill, our current champion from 2022, leads the way. Connor Zilic, the 16-year-old phenom, is in second place. Rafa Matos, two-time champion and won his first race here, is in third. Brent Cruz won the last race. The 14-year-old turning 15 next week is in fourth. Evan Slater, the 17-year-old, is fifth. Goikhberg in sixth place. Annunciata, another 16-year-old, seventh. Darren Mock, another youngster, in 8th position. Adam Andretti in 9th, one of the veterans of the series. Dylan McAvern is 10th. Adrian Lostowski 11th, Pro Truck. Caleb Bacon 13th. Tad Moffitt in 14th place. And Dylan Archer rounding out the top 15, who will all score big points. Over 100 points for the winner, and Merrill knows it. Great opportunity for Merrill. He started this weekend 5th overall, just 1 point behind Slater. That will change if things stay as they are, and Slater knows that all too well as we go on board with him.
Yeah, a little translation there. Darren Mock says he's got a good piece, not that he has to go pee.
Fair enough. All right, here we go. Off comes the pace car. Merrill leads them to green. We are racing here at Road Atlanta as the clouds start to form again, but I don't think we'll see rain before the end of this. Good start, restart there from Zilic. Popping out comes Goikhberg. And Andretti side by side with the 51 of Darren Mock. Up the hill they go. It looks as though Andretti may lose out on that one. Slater on board with him, down through the S's, fighting it.
Yeah, Andretti got really out of shape there on the outside of turn 1. Looks like maybe he made that pass stick, but yeah, like you said, the weather, it's gotten really dark here really quick. I think there's some weather rolling in. These guys need to go, and like I said before, they got to treat every lap here like it's the last one.
If you were Zilic, where would you make your move on Merrill?
I'd make it right here in 7.
Okay.
He's looks like he may do that. We'll see. Yeah, he's got another shot, obviously going down into Big Machine Vodka Spike Coolers turn 10 as well.
More with Lostowski. We'll soon find out as they all start to spread out now. This is a very quick sprint of less than 15 minutes. In fact, you can see it for yourself. 8 minutes and 45 left, that's all. As we head down, Merrill just gives himself a little bit of a gap as they head down towards 10. Matos creeping closer. Brent Cruz with work to do. Slater right there. Goikberg and Enciata coming through your shot now. Led by the number 10, Goikberg.
Looks like I might have seen a little bit of rain on the windshield there in turn 7, so.
Now Brent Cruz eyeing up a move at turn 1 on Matos. Whoa, and Enciata goes onto the grass.
Wow.
Luckily saves it.
So lucky there. That is such an easy place to go off and get sucked into the grass. Wow.
8 minutes to go. Rafa Matos under immense pressure in 3rd place. We're on board with him now.
You can see there in the onboard, he's having to hold that gearbox in 2nd gear.
Now, we're expecting rain coming, but it should just miss us before the checkered flag. Oh, this is such drama. I love it. Merrill doing what Merrill does great. The Salinas-based California man and our current champion holding off a hard-charging Silverhair Racing. Connor Zilic looking for his first win. On board with Slater. Can he get past Brent Cruz?
Yeah, he's not letting him get away, that's for sure. He's on full push right now, like I said.
And you really saw the evidence of that loose rear end there he was talking about. And he is managing it just.
Yeah, he's fighting with it for sure, but you know, looks like Goikberg behind him, not pressuring him too much, so he's pretty much eyes forward right now.
Into 10 they come, under braking. Now you see it for yourself how hard the anchors are on. You can see from the G-force measure there just how hard it is on those anchors. Back with Goikberg there. He's got his own problems. He's got people behind him as too. But look at this freight train coming through. Merrill crosses the line again. Another lap completed. Zilic right there with him. Time running out. 6 minutes and 50 seconds. And the clouds getting ever darker. We've been told 15 minutes away is the rain. And we can be that accurate these days with modern technology. And they've been pretty accurate so far here at Road Atlanta. And I'm sure the same will be true. So we should just get this race finished before it downpours again. Lostowski having a good run.
Yeah, maybe 4 laps left here, so we'll have to see, you know, what race control says on the last lap call, but yeah, probably 4, maybe 5 laps at most.
Yeah, is that a worry if you're in the cockpit as to how many more laps there are, or are you just kind of just going for it?
At this point, like I said, they're all going like it's the last lap because any one of these other guys could have a moment and you know, pull out another full course yellow. At that point, the race is going to be over. So yeah, they're full push. But obviously, yes, when you get down to like 1 or 2 to go, and let's say Connor Zilic, he's going to want to know so that when he can time his move, you know, and try to maximize that where Thomas can't get back by him.
The clock ticking down. Merrill doing a good job of keeping that gap, and it's not much of one though, between he and Zilic. Zilic right there with him. Silverhair, well, he is racing like a hare right now, and Merrill knows it. Meanwhile, Rafa Matos, I just got a feeling that Matos on a day like today just might be quite happy to hold off Brent Cruz and not worry about trying to get further up the field, because I don't think he's going to make a close down the race pace that these two are on. They've both just done their fastest laps of the day. In fact, Connor Zilic at 124.6, so they're getting quicker and quicker, the leaders, and Matos is going to have to settle for 3rd, and that's going to be a good job because Brent Cruz is all over him, and after his experience at NOLA, he knows how good this kid can be.
Yeah, these cars carry a 26-gallon fuel cell, most of them, and that equates to about 180 pounds of fuel that'll burn off over the course of a race. Now, we've had a lot of sitting on pit road, but you typically will see a lot of the quicker times come towards the end of these races with the lighter fuel load.
You know, it makes me remember when Zilic made his name. He was at VIR, a bit like yourself. He suddenly arrived and took pole away from Matos. And I said to Matos at the time, do you expect that? That's a big surprise. He goes, no. I've been watching Zilic in karting. He said, I knew he was good. Same for Brent Cruz. They all watch each other race. And it's no surprise to a veteran like Matos to see these youngsters doing as well as they can. Merrill the same.
Yeah, Merrill got a little bit loose there. It looked like off 7, and Zilic was able to stick. He's going to put his nose in.
Oh, Connor!
Here we go.
Well, I was
For the
about to say
lead.
that was a little bit ambitious, but it doesn't matter. Connor Zilic takes the lead of this race in style, forces his way through, muscles his way through. This is muscle car racing, let's face it. And Zilic is in the lead of this race, and actually that sort of confrontation there between the pair of them has allowed Matos to catch up in third, and Brent Cruz will be sniffing a podium here. What a finish we've got. Let's have a look at it again. Tyler?
Yeah, look at this. So Zilic comes in here and very, very late move to the inside of Merrill. Merrill gives him room. They make a little bit of contact, and obviously then Zilic is able to prevail out of 10B. But yeah, I think that was.
No.
Oh no, we've got the.
Please don't stay there.
58 car, Rob Clifton, I believe, here off in Big Machine Vodka Spike Coolers turn 10A. That's going to probably bring out a full course yellow and,
yeah, well,
likely to end this race.
And look, there's rain starting to fall.
We see a lot of rain on the windshield here, Rafa Matos in turn 7. So,
it's getting slippy, isn't it?
It's getting really treacherous here in the tower. We're seeing big raindrops coming down. This race is.
Rain's coming in hard now and across the entire course. So we are going to finish very quickly here because we've got a car in the gravel. The yellow flags are out, and that I think is going to be it. There you see it. And Annunciata goes off as well.
Yeah.
We've got all sorts of cars flying each way and everywhere here as the rain comes down here. That's going to pretty much put pay to it. But I've got a feeling that Zilic made his move at just the right time. Will he hold on to that, or do we go lap back?
Well, here he is. He's coming across the line.
He's got the checkered flag. They put it out for him.
That's the checkered flag. Yep.
Yeah, so Zilic is going to win this race ahead of Thomas Merrill and Rafa Matos, and I would have said that those experienced drivers are going to be just relieved to get out of here with a podium, and I'm talking about Rafa Matos and a very happy Thomas Merrill, because Merrill will want the win, but he will be happy that he didn't get involved in a very heavy downpour. They wouldn't want to have raced down in that last lap there. So dramatic race finish and a dramatic end to this one. It had everything. Wow. But Zilic, and I do believe that's going to be his first win.
Yeah, congratulations to Connor Zilic. That was a long time coming for him. He's had a lot of tough luck over the last year. Silver Hair Racing drove for them in 2021. Congratulations to them. Maurice and Laura Hall on getting this
Maurice
win.
Hall and Laura are going to be so tickled pink. They're so proud of this kid, and well, they might be. He is really, really an exciting prospect for the future, and this is going to mark a day. I remember back in 2018, it was my first season, and Rafa Matos got his first win here, and look at what the history shows. The rest was history, and I got a feeling that for Connor Zilic, it really will be a turning point for his career. I talked to him yesterday about just that, and we were talking about racing against Brent Cruz and how he was getting all the accolades, and it's annoying him quite literally, because he's like, hang on a minute, I used to race Brent Cruz every weekend in karts. We raced together for 8 weeks. He's good, but he's not that much better than me. And so now I think it's hey, my turn, buddy.
Yeah, just a heck of a drive though from where he started. I know he was really frustrated with his qualifying effort. Felt like he had a lap that would have put him at the front when I talked to him, but obviously he proved he had it today. And man, talk about just making the pass at the absolute perfect moment. I mean, one corner later or so, and I mean, he wouldn't have had that opportunity. So
yeah, and that's another part of it. Smart move to do it and get it done there, knowing that time was running out, because sometimes you kind of not sure whether you want to lead or follow and then wait to the final time, but. When something as dramatic as the rain coming, and maybe they were onto that, and we didn't know as much as they do, but really good by Connor Zilic, the 2021 Jim Fitzgerald Rookie of the Year Award in 21, and the first from the United States to win the FIA Karting Academy Trophy Championship. He's got huge accolades in karting along the way. We knew the man from Mooresville. When you hear guys come from Mooresville, North Carolina, you go,
yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna look up and watch, because that's where NASCAR's greatest come from, and he has grown up and decided to go straight from karting to this, and it's starting to pay off. But what a downpour! That came quickly. But let's just have a look at some great results.
Good points day for Thomas Merrill. Good points day for Rafa Matos, Brent Cruz, and Evan Slater rounding out the top 5.
Great day for Slater too, because we forget both Slater and Zilic were right up there with Merrill and Matos. They take the headlines. But they've done themselves no harm. And Misha Goitberg, what a race. 6th place, that's one of the best finishes I've seen him.
I was a little surprised at his qualifying effort. Honestly, he was further back than I expected. So he kind of finished, about where I expected him to start. So good on him to make those passes. And
And I'm going to make a shout out for my good mate Adam Andretti, 9th position. He needed that. He's been up and down, a bit like yourself, Tyler. He's needing to prove himself again. Not that he needs to, but he's been in and out of cars. He's had a 2nd place already, but that's a good, solid 9th place in these conditions. But another big shout out to our youngster Caleb Bacon. Great stuff for the Cortex Racing Bacon Development Team, a top 10 finish.
Caleb Bacon, McIvern, both having to start this race at the back. Huge drives for both of them. Adam Andretti, like you said, picking up a ton of spots. So congrats to everybody for what I guess ended up being a really good race in the end. Like you said, a lot of drama. And again, thoughts are with Scott Borchetta.
By the way, Caleb Bacon, Mooresville, North Carolina. And another ex-Miata guy. I love it. So, come to a rather dreary end to this one, but boy, did it have everything. And there you go. Let's head down to Ben Sissel to enjoy the celebrations, wet as they are.
Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, Connor Zillage, I believe. Connor, take off your helmet. This is Connor Zillage, first win in the Big Machine Vodka Spike Coolers TA2 Series. Thomas Merrill comes over to give him a nice handshake. Great sportsmanship. You guys had at it at Circuit of the Americas. This time you came out on front. How does it feel?
Yeah, it's amazing. We've worked so hard at this, and we've been through the ups and downs of just this sport and how it goes. But we finally got the job done here at Road Atlanta. My first win in Trans Am. So just to be with these guys and bring them this win, it feels so special to me. And I'm just so grateful for all the work they've put in this offseason and last year, getting everything right. The driver, the car, it's all paid off, and we're officially winners.
And did you know the rain was coming? It seems like you timed that pass there at Big Machine Vodka Spike Coolers turn 10 right at the right time.
Yeah, I knew there wasn't much time left, and he had a lot of straight line speed, so it was going to be tough to pass him. But every time we would go into 10, I would outbrake him a ton, so I knew I was going to have to pass him there if I wanted to get it done. And he obviously wasn't expecting it, and by the time he saw me there, he tried to close. Just so proud of these guys and the car they brought me. Silver Air Racing, Chevrolet, everyone who helps me, Josh Wise, Scott Speed back at GM, and just thankful for everyone.
Nice. I love it, Connor Zillage. Sorry, I was going to come talk to you under the Motul tent, but Thomas Merrill, that was your race. How was it out there?
I love standing in the rain. This is Thomas Merrill weather right here, so I'm very happy with it. I was really happy to see the weather turn out the way that it did. I felt really confident about the race car that we had. Unfortunately,
well, obviously, with the weather playing its role on our technology as well, but well done, Ben. But Connor Zillage takes his first win for Silver Hair Racing. What a great day for the 16-year-old. Thomas Merrill, our champion, is second. Rafa Matos does another good job, the championship leader, by taking another podium as he did last time out at NOLA. NOLA winner, Brent Cruz, was fourth. Evan Slater brilliantly into fifth place. A great run for him for the Frank Road Apparel team. Goikberg in sixth, Mock, McIvern, Andretti, and Bacon. That's your top 10 here at Road Atlanta. Further down, Lostowski, Moffitt, good result. That's his third 12th position in the year. Well, at least he's consistent. Prochuk, Archer, Bose, Peterson in 16th, Boris Said Jr. 17th, Sarge, Mayer, and Tommy Sheehan in 20th position in the Ford Mustang. Further down, Annunciata had that off at the end there, hence going back down to 21st place. He had been in the top 10 before that. Austin Green likewise started well, the birthday boy, but finishes 22nd, and it is his 22nd birthday. Sabato, Young, Perrant, Gray, Caton, Durbin, Lustig, and Raymond, and as you can see, +3, +4, they are not finishers of this race. And likewise, further down, Clifton, Borchetta, involved in that incident, Abate coming in with damage to her suspension, DeLong, Hearn, out early, Rumberg, and Winston. That's how it finished here for round 3 of the Big Machine Vodka Spike Coolers TA2 Series. So, well, do we have any highlights? Yes, we do. Let's take a look at them because there was so much going on in that race. Let's hear from our starting men as Hearn popped out early on to try and steal the show, and he almost did too until that mistake. Nathan Hearn, though, going off into the grass, almost spinning around, almost hitting the wall. Talking of hitting, that was the first incident, and that was Clifton involved in that one. And through came the 71 of Eric Caton. Another incident here. This one was Zilic and Merrill. They touched each other there, and Zilic finally getting the same move done. But Matos biding his time. Hearn would go out. The rain would come down. And all sorts going on, but in the end, it was that man, Connor Zilic, with the victory. Wow, catch your breath. So let's talk about our cool move of the race. And well, there's plenty of contenders for this weekend's cool move, but it's something we do every weekend. And this time, the Cool Shoot Systems cool move of the race is this one. It has to be, doesn't it? Merrill coming down to 10 in the lead, but watch this audacious move by this youngster. He said that was the only place he could get it done, and maybe that's a little payback because he was pretty good to Merrill last time out at Kota when the championship was on the line. So payback and a cool move. Wow, it's all gone on here, and well, the weather's been a story. So too has some of the incidents we've had both on and off the track, but so much going on, and yeah, it's been an interesting start to the weekend. And there's more racing to come from the Speed Tour here. We are expecting a little lightning and rain in the area, so we've got to probably pause in terms of our racing situation and wait for a few minutes for the lightning to go and for us to continue with the Speed Tour. But that was a great well, it was a great display of really hard business work for the guys involved, especially the teams. You never think about that. They are working just as hard as the drivers and trying to advise them.